There, we saved it. I think we saved it. I just plugged in my audio mic here, and I think now we're good. So we should be good. But anyways, we're gonna hang out here for a little bit. Welcome to Wednesday night. Start sit. Get your questions in the chat room, and then I will answer them shortly after these player practice news from today. The New Orleans Saints are signing Nyheim Hines. It looked like they already ruled out running back Devin Neal. I'm expecting Alvin Kamara to miss this game as well. So we're going to have a hodgepodge of running backs here for the Saints this week. It's going to probably be Audric Estime, Evan Hull, and then a little sprinkle of Nyheim Hines here. I don't know if I can recommend any of these guys unless you're very desperate for a potential spot at a running back too. Saquon Barkley practicing in full today. He has a stinger. Just we'll keep an eye on that one there. Quentin Johnston back to limited today for the Chargers with that groin injury. Devontae Adams has officially been listed as doubtful for tomorrow night here with the knee and the hamstring thing, which I think is the smart move. He just re-aggravated this hamstring a few days ago, and then Rams are trying to go for a Super Bowl here. They can still lose this game and be okay. I think they still have a chance to win even if Devontae doesn't go, and it looks like he won't go. Tyler Lockett limited for the Raiders. Who cares? But Geno Smith is back to full, and he's on track to playing against the Houston Texans this weekend. So Raiders, I guess it's better if Geno's out there for guys like Ashton Jeanty and Brock Bowers. We have Woody Marks here not practicing on Wednesday. We're going to watch his reports throughout the rest of the week. Nick Chubb was limited today, so he would be the one to get the start if Marks can't go. Ollie Gordon, full practice today after injuring that ankle on Monday night. RJ Harvey, full practice. He had the rib thing pop up on Sunday against Green Bay. Chris Rodriguez, full practicing today, so that's going to take a little bit of the steam off Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. Rashad Bateman, full practice as well with his ankle injury. No Alvin Kamara, again, like I said before, and Devin Neal has been ruled out. We do get Marvin Harrison Jr. back with the heel injury. Limited in practice. I'm not sure if he's going to go, but he's definitely on track to making a reappearance here as the season dwindles. I'm not going to feel good starting Marvin Harrison Jr. This weekend, even though it is against the Falcons, which you can throw on. I'm still going to have Michael Wilson ranked as like a strong wide receiver too if Marvin plays. Marvin will just be a fringe wide receiver 3 flex. Drake London officially limited today. No David Njoku or Dylan Sampson yet for the Browns, tracking those guys as doubtful for now. Dontavian Wicks limited, no Josh Jacobs, but I think that's more just rest at this point, season management, load management, whatever you want to call it. Christian Watson, though, limited, saying all the right things like he's going to play this weekend. So I'm expecting Watson to play, and yeah, he's going to be a fringe wide receiver 3 flex for me in my rankings. DeAndre Swift did practice limited today with a groin injury, but no Rome Odunze and no Luther Burden. And because the Packers-Bears play on Saturday evening, like we have to treat this like this is Thursday. Like this today was a big practice here, and Odunze and Burden both not out there. Tomorrow will be their Friday technically, so we'll watch for those reports, and that should be the final note, I think, for how we're feeling for these guys going into Saturday. The Miami Dolphins have benched Tua. He's going to be the emergency QB3. Zach Wilson to be the QB2. And what's his name? The Quinn Ewers will be QB1 for this weekend's game against the Cincinnati Bengals. So I'm sure we'll talk Darren Waller at some point, which I'm not excited about playing Darren Waller if I have to. Ted McMillan, Carolina Panthers, he does not practice today, but he's still considered day-to-day, so I think he's on track to playing. What else do we got here? Brady Cook will start for the Jets, which I think if you have Adonai Mitchell, that's going to be good. The Jets already ruled out Mason Taylor for this game. And then what else do we got? T. Higgins practiced with the concussion protocol. Rashee Rice did not practice today. He's in concussion protocol now, so it's looking doubtful for Rashee Rice this week. So I think I'm all caught up here. Let me open up some questions here. And good evening to everybody. I hope you're doing well. And I fixed the audio issue. Sometimes when I plug in my mic and unplug it, sometimes it forgets to for some reason, sometimes it stays on muted. So I'm not sure what's up with that. But good evening to Gullies. And good evening to Sports Dog as well. 18 PPR Superflex. We got Drake May, the WQRs. JMO, that's probably just receivers. JMO and Pickens as the top 2 receivers, which I feel good about. Gainwell and Aaron Jones, the top 2 running backs, tight end Brock Bowers, and then we're flexing London and CMC. The bench is Warren, Burrow, Godwin, Marks, Jackson, Shakir, and Hubbard if London's out, Godwin or Warren. If London's out, And the thing with Jaylen Warren is he was battling an illness on Monday Night Football, and we saw Kenneth Gainwell play quite a bit. So I don't hate it if you want to play both Gainwell and Warren in this game. The only thing that makes me hesitate a little bit there is the Lions are pretty decent against opponent running backs. But I do expect the Lions to play from a lead with this one. I have the Lions here as the number 2 toughest team against running backs. They're only allowing about 18 PPR points per game. They're among the fewest in total running back catches allowed. So maybe there's some points that could be added there. But I think what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and play London if he's in. Obviously, we want to watch Woody Marks because I might prefer Woody Marks over Godwin and Warren if he plays. And then, Jackson, Shakir, I don't really have a ton of faith in those two guys. So it's probably Chris Godwin against if London's out, Woody Marks is out, I'm probably going to go Godwin over Jaylen Warren, which sounds weird, but I think that's kind of where we're at right now with Jaylen Warren. We're a little concerned here. And the Carolina Panthers, they do have a decent secondary, but Godwin's been playing well enough for me to trust him to get some touches here. So I'm going to go with Godwin for now, Sport Dog. And Gully's picked up Jayden Reed, Parkinson, and Michael Carter. That's a holy trinity there. Surprised you were able to get Jayden Reed. I think he's a good play, even if Watson does play. The chance of so as a Packer fan, I'm a little concerned that we're throwing Watson out there. I kind of wouldn't mind giving him one game off to let that thing heal a little bit, but they're going to chuck him out there and see what he can do. Now I'm just pulling up these snaps from the other day, and I know Watson played most of the game. He played about 3/4 of this game, but Jayden Reed looked really good. He had 5 catches, 6 targets, 10 fantasy points. I think he still is locked into that number 2, number 3 slot role for the Packers. And that's with Watson playing. They're still going to rotate Wicks and Matthew Golden. But I think Jayden Reed right now is the Packers' best receiver because Christian Watson's not 100% healthy right now. So I still think Reed, I'm going to have Reed probably still ranked as a wide receiver 3 flex. Let me actually look. Where did I end up with him in my rankings? Because I'm going to have to move Watson up, obviously. I have Jayden Reed up around wide receiver 26. That's with guys like Brian Thomas, DJ Moore, Luther Burden, Khalil Shakir. Now that Christian Watson is trending towards playing, I'm going to move Watson up ahead of Romeo Doubs here. I'm going to put Watson kind of right next to Justin Jefferson and Michael Pittman type. So still think Reed's a good play. I'm going to knock him just a little bit here. I'll put him next to DJ Moore and Luther Burden here. Oh, perfect question. So I'm expecting Odunze to not play. I think Burden is more likely to play than Odunze, but he's not 100% with that ankle now. So this is clearly DJ Moore's wide receiver room here. And now that I'm looking at this, I'm going to move DJ Moore up, I don't know, up to like the George Pickens, DK Metcalf tier of really strong wide receiver 2s right now. So I do like DJ Moore. And yeah, if Odunze and Burden are out, like I'm going to probably move DJ Moore just a little even bit higher if he's the only guy. And then the other side of that too is Colston Loveland would be a pretty good spot. So I think Moore, would be a must start if both are ruled out. Well, I mean, the good news is they're playing the Cincinnati Bengals, who are still one of the worst defenses in the league in terms of total fantasy points allowed. They allow the 31st most here. So it's a great matchup. And the Bengals don't allow wide receivers to score. So it's all running backs. They are the number 1 team allowing points to the running back position, upwards of 30 points per game. So we're going to see a ton of Achane. He's going to probably have that game where he gets 4 or 5 catches, as most of them will probably be dump offs. And that's why I'm also scared of Darren Waller a little bit, just because we don't know how that's going to go. So you're probably going to see as many touches as Achane can handle because that's really the only way they're going to move the ball consistently, I think, against the Bengals here. And hey, good evening to Scott. I hope you're having a lovely Wednesday evening. Should I consider starting Parkinson over Fannin Jr.? Do we see Fannin for sure struggling, or can we see Fannin be the first team to score 13 plus against the Bills? Yeah, so that is a matchup that we kind of caught on to. When was it? I don't know, a few weeks back when Cade Otton and some other guys were playing really well. We noticed that the Bills, they only allow 6.85 PPR points per game to the tight end position here. So Fannin, even though he got like 14 targets last week. So I'm not super into Harold Fannin this week. I still have him ranked highly, but I might have to adjust this because I have them back to back. I have Fannin at tight end 6 and Parkinson or tight end 7. So I'll tell you what, if Davante truly is ruled out, I'm just gonna do that right now and move Parkinson up a notch here. I did see something about Tyler Higbee maybe playing. Or coming back soon, but I don't think he's going to put a dent into what Parkinson's doing. So if Davante is out, I'm going to go Parkinson tomorrow night. Oh my goodness. Fairbairn is the #1 kicker option this week going up against them Raiders. The Raiders, man, you want kickers against the Raiders because that's just you're going to have a good time scoring points. So best kicker for the week, I think. Hurts, Achane, Chase Brown. I like the running backs. Sutton and Jaden Reed, okay. Fannin Jr., Parkinson at flex. Benches DJ Moore, Michael Carter, Ramondre Kareem Hunt, Adonai Mitchell. Okay. So I might be open to playing a little Adonai Mitchell here. The New Orleans Saints are playing good football right now, but I do think with Brady Cook, Adonai Mitchell becomes interesting with his floor. So for me, I'm probably going to put DJ Moore at wide receiver 2 ahead of Jaden Reed, assuming everything that we talked about happens, or even if it's just Rome Odunze out. I think DJ Moore is a playable player over Jaden Reed. And then it comes down to probably Parkinson at tight end. And then do I want to go Jaden Reed or Adonai Mitchell at the flex? Right now, I'm probably going to lean Jaden Reed because I feel safest about him getting 10 points. Adonai Mitchell, we still don't really have a lot of trust with him, but he is looking pretty good. But if you want to go for a high ceiling, it would be AD Mitchell. So good lineup here, though. A lot of good names to choose from. And I think we're locked in. I think I'm going to lock in DJ Moore at wide receiver 2, Parkinson tight end 1, and then we'll wait for the flex call. Yeah, I'm assuming Davante out. And yeah, that's what sucks is Woody Marks has not been very durable all season. It's always been something with him. So I am worried about him a little bit. Not sure I'm going to start him if he's playing. Worried about this. Also dropped Neal. Yeah, I think Devin Neal's safe to be dropped. Like if you're going to make the championship next week, I don't know if we're going to be comfortable playing a guy fresh off a hamstring injury anyways, and it's the Saints. So if you need to make a move this week, I think it's fine. It's week 16, man. You know, sometimes we got to do some stuff like that, and I think I'm okay with moving on from Devin Neal if that's what you got to do. And Gully's in his championship game. We got to get this right. Okay, so 3K on the line. I'm curious what anyone else thinks here. I'm probably going to probably have DJ Moore at wide receiver 2, Parkinson tight end, and then the flex, I'm probably looking at it. Michael Carter might be the answer here too. I think Michael Carter is going to be a busy guy on Sunday. So I'm not opposed to Michael Carter here, but I'm curious if everyone else has an opinion. I'm moving DJ Moore here to wide receiver 2. I'm putting Parkinson at tight end 1, but then who do you flex? Is it Jaden Reed? Is it Michael Carter? Is it AD Mitchell? It's one of those 3, and I think I might play Michael Carter now that I'm looking at this again. And yeah, I think the name to pick, if Nick Chubb's out there in your league, guys, go look for Nick Chubb. This could be a game where he just gets the ball 15 to 18 times. They did sign a running back already from the practice squad, Jawar Jordan. Daryl A. Ogunbowale is going to catch passes, but Nick Chubb will probably rack up as many touches as he's had all season on Sunday. And yeah, the Miami Dolphins, man, I don't know if it matters. It's not going to be pretty, that's for sure. Devon Achane is going to get as many touches as he can handle, but I don't really have a lot of faith in how they're going to throw the ball and move the ball downfield. Jalen Waddle has not been great of late. You also have the Bengals defense, again, for some reason, they don't allow wide receiver points. They're actually one of the best teams at limiting wide. They're the #1 team, allowing only 24.3 fantasy points per game to the receivers. So I don't think this is a great spot for Jalen Waddle. I would be curious to see who else you have out there to maybe play over Jalen Waddle. I have him down. Where did I move Waddle to? I have him down by like Justin Jefferson, Adonai Mitchell, Christian Watson, Michael Pittman. Just a list of names that I don't really feel great about right now. Kind of in the mid-range wide receiver 3 bucket. So let me know if you have questions on who we could play over Waddle. At least we got that touchdown out of the way for both of them. If they didn't get a touchdown, we'd be feeling pretty bad. But luckily, they blessed us with a touchdown. So the question here is Estime, Jordan, or Hull? And I don't really know what to do here because the post game notes that I have on this game, they basically just split this backfield up. So out of 69 snaps, Audric Estime played 25, Devin Neal played 22, and Evan Hull played 22. So about 25 to 22, Estime to Hull. Estime actually ran more routes, and Evan Hull's more of a receiving back style, but Estime played 15 routes. Hull only did 8. Estime had 3 carries. Hull had 4 carries. But Estime had the 3 targets and 3 receptions. So if there was one guy that I'm like, I got to whip out one guy here, I'm probably playing Estime. I think it's going to probably be like more of a 60-40 split. And if they are throwing the ball, like it looks like Estime is going to be the guy that's out there more often than not. So, and it looks like he might be the goal line back as well. So Estime intrigues me the most. Evan Hull, I think, is just kind of the change of pace, third down role in this one. And then with Jawhar Jordan, again, it looks like Nick Chubb is on track to playing this weekend, which would take all the steam out of Jawhar Jordan, Daryl Ogunbowale. So we're going to have to keep eyes on this. But for now, I'm going to rank them as Estime as the lead guy here. But Jordan looked good. He had 15 carries the other day. So if we do get I would probably pick up Jawhar Jordan and just hold on to him for the next couple days. Because if Marks is out and Nick Chubb's out, then I might just switch here and say Jawhar Jordan is the guy you need. So if you guys... like right now, we had that question is like, do we dump Devin Neal? And like, I think I'm going to pick him up for Jawhar Jordan because again, Texans are playing the Raiders. This one's in Houston. You're going to want the Houston running back this weekend. So maybe they hold out Nick Chubb for one more week here. And they're just like, hey, let's give this guy all the hits he can handle and go from there. So that's probably the move here. I'm going to say Estime for now, but let's pick up Jawhar Jordan. The Texans defense. Well, you need Geno Smith to play, and Genty, Etienne, and McLaurin. Okay, this is a good team. The running backs are a little weak. I think Etienne, you're lucky he's going up against Denver. We just got to survive the Puka game tomorrow night and the McBride game and keep all this in check. But overall, it's not too intimidating. Just the Puka McBride, we got to keep those guys in check. If Davante Adams is out, I'm not going to mess with this because the Buffalo Bills, they've kind of proven to us all year that you do not want to start a tight end against them. I'm actually going to look up and see what the highest scoring tight ends have done here. And Fannin is the kind of guy that could overcome this and be one of the few tight ends that actually scores fantasy points here. But the Bills, where we go here, fantasy points allowed. So they've allowed 2 touchdowns on the season. Out of all the games they played this year, they've only let 1 tight end go over double digits, and that was Mike Gesicki in Week 14. He went 6 for 86 and a touchdown. The next highest game, let me look here. I guess they've let – I just got to switch to PPR here. They've let 2 tight ends go over 10 fantasy points. That was Mike Gesicki in Week 14 and Travis Kelce back in Week 9. Otherwise, every other tight end's been under 8 points. We're talking Hunter Henry, Juwan Johnson, Kyle Pitts, Cade Otton. Hunter Henry's on the list twice under 10. Dalton Schultz, Jonnu Smith, Mark Andrews. Some decent tight ends on here. So I'm not going to mess with it. I think I'm going to go Parkinson. I mean, I think Shadour's going to mostly have bad weeks, and Buffalo's kind of coming in hot off that game. And Browns just got steamrolled by Chicago, so I don't really have a lot of faith right now in what they got going on. Whew, deep league. Keenan Allen just has not shown us that pop that he had to start the season. I mean, I don't think he's caught a touchdown in like 2 months. So as good as he was playing to begin the year, yeah, he hasn't caught a touchdown since Week 7. And in full PPR, he hasn't scored double digits since Week 7 as well. So I don't have a ton of faith in Keenan Allen. I think Jaden Higgins I have a little bit more interest in because I think he's got a fun ceiling going up against this Las Vegas Raiders team here. But Higgins last week, he kind of disappeared, only 1 for 4. But before that, the last month and a half, like Higgins has gone over double digits in almost 5 games out of 7. His numbers have been looking good. So I don't know if that's just a blip on the radar, But I'm open to taking Jaden Higgins here. I'm still going to have Jalen Waddle ranked just a little bit higher here. I got Waddle right now at wide receiver 33, Higgins at wide receiver 39. So that's a tough one. That's kind of a gut call here. I'm going to lean Jalen Waddle here, though. Yeah, it was Kelsey. And if we just look at the fantasy points allowed here by Seattle to the tight end position, Seattle is one of the worst teams against tight end. And this is kind of a revenge game. Colby Parkinson played on Seattle the last year or two, if I remember correctly. Seattle has actually allowed a lot of fantasy points to the tight end position, especially in terms of yards. In terms of yards, they are the 29th worst team, almost 1,000 yards here. There's been a ton of targets to the tight ends as well, because I think their secondary is really good. But 121 targets on the year, that's what, in 14 games, that's almost 10 a game. So roughly 8-9 targets per game. In terms of receptions, Seattle ranks 30th. That's 91 allowed to the tight end position. And they're a little bit stingy on tight ends, but I think just the way things are going, you're going to lock yourself into a potential. Matt Stafford's throwing 2 touchdowns tomorrow night, right? So we want to try and get at least one of those with Parkinson, and then at least hope for that 4 or 5 catch game for a big player too. Yeah. Yes, I agree here with my guy Scott. This one's tough for me because now that Brady Cook is officially listed as starter, I have Adonai Mitchell moving up my boards here tonight. Where did I put AD Mitchell at? I got Adonai Mitchell at wide receiver 31. Jaden Reed's at wide receiver 28. This game's in New Orleans, so I do like the dome aspect for AD Mitchell. I might just say Adonai Mitchell is the guy. Just kind of coming out of nowhere and playing good football lately, you know? And the fact that he had a big game last week with a QB making his first start, 6 for 58 and a touchdown. He's had 2 huge games in the last few games. I think I'm going to stick with Adonai Mitchell here as the ceiling play. If you just want to, if this is a really tough game and you want to just get your 12-point floor, you're going to go Jaden Reed. But if you're somewhat of an underdog here and you need someone to make a big play for you, it looks like Mitchell might be your guy. So I'm going to say Jaden Reed, though, as the safe play. But even last week, man, Fannin saw 14 targets, and what did it amount to? It was not much at all. 14 targets, 7 catches, 48 yards. So it took him 14 targets to get to 12 fantasy points here. So Parkinson could probably do that with 4 catches instead of needing 7 for that. So I think we're going to go with the touchdown odds here. Yeah. And the Michael Carter stuff is pretty interesting. If I look at his post-game notes from last week, he dominated that game. And Bam Knight got hurt after 1 play. There were 66 total snaps for the Cardinals on offense. Michael Carter played 53 of them. And usually this backfield's been between 2 and 3 guys all season long. And Carter, for him to play 53 out of 66 snaps, that's pretty aggressive in his favor. He ran 31 of 41 routes, 14 rushing attempts, 4 targets. And DeMercado, I know it was his first game back. He only played 7 snaps. He only ran 5 routes. He only touched the ball 3 times. So this does feel like Michael Carter's backfield. They've never seemed to give DeMercado a chance to be the bell cow back here. So man, maybe it's Michael Carter, guys. Let's sleep on this, but we're not going to play anyone in tomorrow night's game besides Parkinson. So we're going to leave that flex open. We'll get the Bears news on Odunze and Burden, and then we'll make our call here. I do like Jaden Reed, but with Watson playing, it gives me a little bit of hesitation. We know Jaden Reed's going to get targets, but he's going to get the 3rd most routes and opportunities to be on the field. So it might be Michael Carter as your best combo floor ceiling here. Yeah, I wish I drafted more Fannin in best balls, that's for sure. But I was just very concerned on how the quarterback play would go here, and the fact that he's just completely I did not expect him to hop David Njoku, because Njoku's looked pretty good the last couple of years, but it looks like he might have to find a new team next year. So I'll be curious. I want to see David Njoku play on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers next year. I think that'd be kind of fun. But yeah, Fannin's a stud. Yeah, we got a huge 3K pot here. So I'm curious what you guys are thinking at flex. These are kind of the decisions that winner. Hopefully, this is not a decision that will matter. I mean, hopefully, one of these guys gets you. They're all good plays. I think they're all between 12 and 15 points this week. It's just a matter of who's got that ceiling. But Michael Carter right now, he got 13 and a half fantasy points last week as the lead back for this team against a good defense, the Houston Texans. So I might be changing my tune here to Michael Carter being the highest floor and maybe the best ceiling. Like I could see Michael Carter over 20 fantasy points here, easier probably than the other two guys. So I might be on Team Michael Carter here, but I'm curious what everybody else thinks. I did want to pull up a couple other things that I was looking at earlier today. We do have a fun. It's an okay schedule this week. There's a few games that I like more so than others. Obviously, tomorrow night's game is going to kick it off for us pretty well for Week 16. But I'm looking at what games am I looking at here? I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this Broncos Jaguars game, and I'm pretty excited about that one. This one is in Denver. Denver's a 3-point home favorite here. We'll see Trevor Lawrence coming off the best game of his career. Jacksonville's coming in hot. Both these teams are on win streaks. Jacksonville, I think, is on a 4 or 5 game streak. The Broncos on now an 11 game streak here. So that one's probably my favorite game of the day. I think Packers Bears Saturday night is going to be pretty dang good. And then you have the Chargers Dallas. I know Dallas is kind of on the outs right now, but the Chargers Dallas, that sounds like a fun popcorn game. And then what else? We got New England and Buffalo to finish the night off on Sunday Night Football. So there's not as many good games as we had last weekend, but there's enough to get us excited here, and we'll see what happens, man. And yeah, I don't really have a lot of trust in how the Cardinals use their running backs, but for some reason, whenever DeMercado gets his opportunity, they find somebody else to take the majority of the carries, and they kind of just keep because DeMercado is their special teams ace. That's pretty much what he's going to be known for. But he does make a big play every now and then. They don't give him volume, so I'm going to bet that the volume goes with Michael Carter. It's a game where it's Falcons Cardinals, man. That could be a really fun, exciting game. And the fact that Michael Carter just scored 13 points against a really good Houston Texans defense, I'm willing to think that he's going to be the lead back in this one. And even if they don't, even if they give DeMercado a few more touches, I think there's still a safe floor here for Carter. Whew. Yeah, I'm shy about starting Woody Marks as well. Let me look and see where I got Woody Marks right now. Well, I'm projecting him doubtful, so yeah, I'm going to move Woody Marks down here. All right, so we got a huge flex here, man. We got a huge flex call. Let's sleep on it. I'm sure you'll be back tomorrow night, or otherwise we can communicate before the Saturday game here. But it does look like Christian Watson's playing, and I don't know, this Packers Bears game was Week 14 that we just saw these guys play. I can't remember. Was that Jayden Reed's first game back from injury? It might have been. Yeah, we saw Jayden Reed didn't play a lot, but he did get 9 fantasy points, and he only ran 17 routes on the day. So I can guarantee he's going to run more than 17 routes this weekend. So he's a high touch guy when he's out there on the field. He did get 2 rushing attempts and 4 targets in this game. So maybe it is Jayden Reed who does have a good chance at a touchdown in this one. Maybe that's what we should do too. Maybe we should look at the and I know not all the props and stuff are locked in right now, but as we get closer to the weekend, I do like looking at the touchdown odds to see who is getting a little bit more love there than the other players. Saturday night here, they have Romeo Doubs as the top receiver here for the Packers at plus 165. Jayden Reed is plus 185. I do want to take a peek here. DJ Moore is the second favorited player to score in this game, by the way, plus 120. So we do like DJ Moore quite a bit in this one. And then let me just find the dirty Mike Carter here. They don't have running back stuff out there yet because I don't know why, but they must be waiting for some news here. So I'm assuming Michael Carter's going to have pretty strong odds to score a touchdown. And then the last one was A.D. Mitchell here, which they don't have touchdown. They don't have all the props in yet for the Jets Saints game. So I don't know what they're waiting for here, but they do have nothing really up for that game. Yeah. Yes, you gotta trust your gut at this point of the year. And there's a question that I like to, who can I live with at the end of the night? Who can I live with and say, like, I I I trusted my process and this was the right play and I felt good about this player and this was the right move. Like if you're like, hell no, I am not starting Michael Carter, don't start Michael Carter. If you want to die with Jaden Reed, die with Jaden Reed. Someone that you trust and you believe in their talent. That's one way to look at it too. So it's all about trusting your gut, and we appreciate everyone in here helping each other out. That's where I'm kind of at. And before today, I was like totally expecting Watson to not play. I don't know. They could be just being, it's a huge divisional game for the first place NFC North here. So maybe they're just kind of making them think that they got a game plan for Christian Watson and maybe he doesn't play. I do like Jaden Reed quite a bit because he's a busy guy when he's out there on the field. He's just not on the field enough. That's kind of always been his thing, but he's a big play guy waiting to happen. A lot of mouths to feed. You got all the receivers healthy right now. So let's wait for one more practice report here on the Packers guys. And we'll see what happens. But either way, guys, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me on a Wednesday evening. Enjoy the rest of your night. I'll be back tomorrow evening, 6:30 p.m. Central Time before the Thursday night showdown. And we'll get some practice reports and all the information for you guys that you need to get ready for Week 16. So thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Peace.